Let me get in the picture here. You see me? I hope so. Hey, this is just a little short one here. It's Veterans Day today. And I just wanted to give a thanks to all of our veterans, the ones that have served, the ones that serve as we speak. Without them, I probably wouldn't have the opportunity to sit here and gab at you. And I do appreciate it. And all the families, we sometimes forget about it. We talk about the veterans, but the veterans, most all of them have families, and they get by and they do what they have to when their loved ones aren't home to do it. So a thank you to them too. If you got one more minute, I'll give you a little story. When I was younger, I knew a man. I called him my friend. He was much older than I was at the time. His name was George. George served in the Second World War. He was in Normandy, in France. And after school, I would stop at the house, and he was retired at the time, and I always knew where to find him. He'd be down in the basement. He had a wood shop. He'd build about anything you could think about out of wood. And he worked on short band radios. I'd go down there and we'd talk every day. Oh, it'd only take about 5 minutes till he got into a story, and it was always about the time he spent in the war. And I always remembered it. When he talked and he told you the stories, he brought you along with him. He called all the people that he served with right there by name. And after years of it, I kind of knew who they were. And it always felt, when you're a kid, you felt like you were there with them. And the stories that he told, a lot of them I heard again and again, but I sat there and I still listened, and I learned something else while he told it again. But it was everything to him. And he'd usually end by saying, if they called me up today, he'd do it all again. And when I heard these stories, I was like, who in their right mind would do that? But he said he would, and I believe he would have, no matter what his age was. He fought for freedom. He fought for my freedom, your freedom. And there's a lot of guys that didn't get to come home. He got to come home, and that time that I spent with him, I wouldn't trade it for anything in the world. One day I stopped, and I was going to the basement, and I come through the kitchen. His wife was in the kitchen, Kay. And I started down the steps like I always did, and she said, he's not down there. He's upstairs. He's in bed. He isn't feeling well. So I went upstairs, and he was in bed, and he wasn't feeling well. He greeted me with a smile, but I could tell there was something wrong, and we talked for just a minute, and I left, and it wasn't a day later that he passed on. But he left me with something. He left me with those memories and his service. And I would just like to take this time to thank, like I said before, all of you that serve. It means so much to me. And if you have a little bit of extra time, sometimes the best thing you can do for a veteran is just to listen, talk, sit down, have a cup of coffee. You'd be surprised how much good that will do. And I'm going to leave you with that. And again, thank you.